Good evening, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bubba, sitting here on the evening of July 7th, 2019. And since this is a favorite month, a lot of things went on this month. I want to do a century to century, the lost 100 years, 1919 to 2019. And boy, were they lost 100 years. So, to start with, I'll do a cursory things of what was going on then and what we have today. In 1919, you had just signed the Versailles Treaty in June. In 2019, you have President Trump doing the tango with Kim Jong-un. For some reason, he doesn't understand that China's the one that's pulling the strings. But anyway, 1919 was better because of the Versailles Treaty, even though it was a terrible treaty. The United States never approved it. It cost Mr. Wilson his life because he was a broken man when he went home after his 14 points were all but thrown out the window. And the one that they took, the League of Nations, was a disaster. It will cause disaster for the next 100 years. Also, 1919 was a terrible year because a lot of people died during World War I. But more people died in the year 1919 because of the Spanish flu or influenza than the World War. 2019, you've seen a lot of people dying. Opiate crisis, people getting killed, shot by police, shot by gangsters, earthquakes, tsunamis, all going to happen in 2019, and you're going to see all that. So, well, what can I say? Even there, socially wise, 1919 was crazy because you had the women trying to get their vote and people trying to stop drinking with prohibition. Today, what do we have? We got the LBTQ, I think they call them, and the he-she's, what's it's, she-he's, and whatever, trying to say that they got rights too. And you got legislation of abortion, which, like legislation of prohibition, is going to be a flat on its face, just like prohibition ended up in 1933. So, see, we're making the same stupid mistakes with different things 100 years later. 1919, Theodore Roosevelt died. You know, poor Teddy. He was only 61. So let's see, Mr. Carter, will he survive? I don't know, but let's see what happens in 2019. As far as sports, well, there was a Black Sox scandal. White Sox won the World Series, and then scandal came around that they fixed the series where the Reds won. And everybody thought that the White Sox were a superior team. That's like saying the Braves get into the World Series, and what happens if the Braves won in 2019? Are we going to say the Braves won and fixed it? I say that happened in 1995 when the Braves beat the Cleveland Indians. To me, the Cleveland Indians were a better team that year. But, hey, no Shoeless Joe Jackson in that time, huh? Speaking of Shoeless Joe Jackson, it's my opinion that he got railroaded and became the scapegoat for the 1919. But to me, if you want to reinstate a Major League Baseball, that's a tough call because then you have to reinstate Pete Rose and you have to reinstate Barry Bonds for the Hall of Fame. I don't think those two should deserve the Hall of Fame. So, even though I'm pro Mr. Shoeless Jackson, I have to say no because opening the door for him would open the door for them. And sorry, Mr. Jackson, whoever you're listening, I can't in good conscience say yes. 1919, the airplane and the car were there. 2019, we're still here. There's no supercars. There's no spaceships yet, like they thought in 1919 they would be today. We still have the same stupid way of looking at things. Politics are still stupid. Nothing's changed. Like I said, it's been a lousy 100 years. Another world war, Cold War between that and now, and we still haven't learned a thing. We've had epidemics of different things, but and we have fat cats. They're still around. You see that Bubba here is showing the fat cats that live here. But we still have fat cats, Democrats and Republicans. That's all they care about. Money. So they're fat cats. They don't care about the people. As long as they get their votes and then they forget about them for another 2 years or 4 years, depending on what the vote is. It's still the same. Hasn't changed in 100 years. Mr. Paul Harvey would say, it's lost 100 years. And I'll have more of this 100 years in later broadcasts. But right now, I'm going to give you a cursory review of 1919 to 2019. Basically, nothing's changed. If you look at that, like I said, you had prohibition back in 1919. Legislate drinking, and we're trying to legislate abortion. Same thing. Didn't learn a thing from 1919, did we? This is your favorite alien and Bubba saying good day.